Hey, good morning, everyone. Dan here coming to you from tradingology.com and our trading room final one for this week, January 7th. We'll take a quick look at the market calendar here. We're on Thursday, so we see we had our unemployment claims today. Expected forecast was 798. Last week was 790. So we came in at 787. So they're putting that as a green number. Figure that one out. And as always, we have Dave joining us here from our Strong Market team. So good morning, Dave, as he's getting rolled in.
Good morning, everybody. Kind of asleep at the switch here. I looked up and it was 10:32. Oh
no worries. I was just starting to go through the calendar and taking a look at the unemployment claims and how we always find it interesting that even though it's 3,000 under their forecast, or excuse me, 3,000 under last week and 11, 12, what's the quick math there? 98 to 87, 12,000 under their forecast. They still call it a green number, even though it's 787,000 new people claiming unemployment.
Yeah. So, 787,000 drop in the bucket. And that's every week. And these are new claims.
Yeah.
New claims.
Brand new this week.
Not existing.
Or new. Last week, I should say.
Yeah.
So yeah, just looking across the board, as everybody saw, I unfortunately had a bunch of internet issues yesterday. So luckily I was not trading, but all kinds of crazy things happened shortly after the trading room. So we were lucky to get that. And then my internet went kaput. Multiple states are having issues with some of the providers, but we saw chaos at the Capitol, which has been taken under control. And we see, from what I've seen this morning, it looks like it's getting a little bit more under control, like even Trump saying, hey, orderly transition, recommitting. So we'll see. Hopefully that lasts. But everybody's still happy. Look at these markets across the board. We're still running right up, record highs.
Historically, political events, even like the assassination of JFK, 9/11, all of these events, these disasters sometimes. There was an earthquake, I remember, in San Francisco back in the 90s that shook the market for, maybe 1 or 2%. They all bounced back. The political, upheaval, these kinds of events typically don't last very long in the market. Now we are higher. We're up $465 or 465 points on the Dow yesterday. We're up another 300 points today, 700 points in 2 days. A little ridiculous. I don't think value doesn't matter anymore. Nothing matters except that now Biden really has control, of whatever agenda he wants to push. And I think everybody's saying, hey, stimulus.
I saw a good headline somewhere, how much stimulus do you need to stimulate the new stimulus?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we look at this, let me pull back for like the week here, and we see Monday's pullback. Didn't last very long at all. We're almost back up to the new all-time high.
Yeah, on the NASDAQ,
we are at be there by the end of the week.
Yeah, and we are at new highs on the Dow. My new target for the Dow is 31,450. It's kind of a combination of a Fibonacci and I think it's 150% using the price action profits.
Quadrant, gotcha.
Yeah, so 31,450. No guarantees.
I've been looking more and more and using the traditional fibs. I think I might put together just some video. And I'm also thinking about doing, you guys let me know if this would or wouldn't help you. If you're already masters, all of our members here, anybody else that's just looking for some general info on just some good, trading 101, fibs, trend lines, just, keeping people up to speed and back to the basics. I might start posting those inside of here in YouTube or in our members, wherever they're most needed. So I think it's a good thing for everybody to keep up on, or they may have forgotten, be like, oh yeah, that's a good way to look at that. Like you say, you mentioned there's a fib markup at 31.4 and change. It's like, yeah, how'd you get to that, Dave? How'd you draw that? So I think I'm going to put some of those together for a lot of people that may be not even aware of it yet, that are newer to trading.
Yeah, that's a great idea. You have to find the indicators that work for you. People have different styles. They have different things that they're looking at. They have different ways of trading. And you got to find one or two that really are your bread and butter and stick to that. don't be the shiny object chaser and look for all of these new indicators. There are indicators out there already that work really, really well, but it all depends on your style, what you can rely on, what you depend on in order to make trading decisions. And, don't switch. I mean, try to stick with the ones that are proven, and if fibs work for you, great. If the price action profit numbers work for you, great. But you got to pick one and just kind of stick with it and get to know it really good. And when you get to know it, really good, you're going to start depending on it, and you'll also be able to, look for targets. You'll be able to know when to get out, when to get in. Be consistent, in other words.
Absolutely. And good morning, Asham. Good to see you. So happy New Year, Asham. Coming to us from across the pond. Hope things are well over there. And let's take a quick look. I haven't looked yet. Internals are interestingly similar to yesterday.
Yeah. A lot of separation there in the Excel chart. Followed through yesterday, big separation, same thing today.
Yeah, we're still getting a stair step and volume coming in, controlling as the markets won. And we see the VXX took off yesterday with the debacle and then coming right back down. We got back down. So I think I saw it close to 20. Yes, 18. Oh, and the VIX also did jump for a short time yesterday. I was watching. See if I can pull it up on this little chart. I keep a couple spares now on hand.
Interestingly enough, that the bottom of the Darvis box on the VXX is like a straight line across the last since the 14th.
Yeah, I think that just lined up too as of yesterday, because it was up here and then it pushed it down yesterday. Now it's lining up with this week.
Interesting.
That is an interesting deal. So yeah, here's the VIX jumping yesterday, but then we gapped right back down, and it's kind of like it didn't happen now. So
right. If anything's gonna, here, look, every single natural disaster I talked about, the 9/11, earthquakes, JFK, they all went down. The market did drop. They didn't last, but at least, they did go negative. They dropped to 1 to 5%. Nothing this time. Nothing. We were up 600 points. We dropped down to like 460. Big deal. That's not a drop. Resilience, unbelievable resilience.
So here's what I want to pull over too that I find interesting this morning.
Yeah.
1 second there, Sham. I got your answer. You'll like this. Check this out. So here's our long-term Dixie, right? Just so you guys remember where we pulled this from. I'll jump this back to a weekly chart so it's easy to see. Form this back on way back from the 2018 here. It's built off of this little candle and this bottom, which is why I got the green arrows. We had one little support level here that it did respect. And then we got through. Literally just touched it. And now we're moving back up. It was green a second ago. So we'll see how this holds out. Let me pull this back to a daily. And that's where you actually see the green bounce yesterday.
Yeah, I think if we can get back above that consolidation level on the top blue line there between 92 and 93, if we can get above that, I think we could be establishing a new uptrend here. Very counterintuitive. Everybody is bearish on the dollar, and the number of short contracts in the US dollar index futures are at the highest level in over 38 years. So very, very high, which, hey, I was trying to think this morning why I'm so contrarian on some of these things. I don't know. I really don't know, except that I know that when trends extend too far, they do have a tendency to snap back very sharply.
Yeah, and we've seen too many parabolic moves of late.
Yes.
So as Sham's asking about if I'm still developing things with the VWAP method and futures trading, well, let me just give you a little sneak peek on this chart.
One of the stocks I got into this morning is one we discussed the other day, was TEVA. I actually went in, and instead of buying the options again, I went in and bought the stock this morning. And it's so far it's doing nicely. I think it's in a little consolidation on the 4 hour, and I think we're probably going to push higher. I noticed a lot of option activity going on in the January expiration for TEVA. 40, 50,000 contracts. I mean, it's just unbelievable at around the $12 strike. And so I took a position on the options, got out of those yesterday, got back into the stock. It pulled back a little bit, got back into the stock this morning, and we'll see what happens. There might be something there. I don't know what's going on, but I'm looking for like around at 1250. And I think, Dan, you helped me out with that target there. It's around 1250 on the target.
Yeah, taking into account that same strategy, we're also leveraging that for stocks, like you say. Instead of a 2-hour time frame, I'm looking at it on a daily time frame. So let me see if I can pull that up where I had that quick here. The Sham's noticing crypto's getting bullish. That's one thing I did notice. The Dixie's going up, and so is crypto right now. So we'll see what's going on there.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. There's actually a book I'm reading right now. Here, I'll hold it up and see if you can see that.
How to invest your money into profit from inflation. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, this is by Morton Schulman. It was written back in the early 80s when inflation was high. I didn't realize it. I mean, in the late 70s, early 80s, it was like 7%, 4 to 7% a year. And so I'm thinking, well, Morton Schulman is one of my favorite authors. In fact, he's the guy I learned how to trade options back in 1987 from. And so when I saw this, I said, gee, I wonder if there's any good books on inflation. We haven't had inflation really in a really, really long time. Not the kind of inflation where commodities all go up. And so I started looking around and I saw his book, so I got it. One of the things he said, which was interesting, was the US dollar went up at the same time commodities went up back in the 70s. That was kind of interesting. Oil went, skyrocketed, gold skyrocketed, silver skyrocketed. In fact, I think that was the highest silver print. I think it was around 70 or 80 bucks on silver back in the 70s.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. I had one summer, I went out with my cousin. We were walking up and down the boardwalk at the Jersey Shore in Atlantic City, and we were trading dimes, quarters for all the silver dimes and quarters that we could get. And I had a huge bag full of them. And when silver hit 70 or 80 bucks, I forgot what it was, I sold them all. I made a lot of money.
Nice.
Yeah. It saved me like 2 years worth of lawn mowing. I mean, I was like 14, 15 years old, but even then I could tell that, when silver's high, when it was up in the 70s, I sold it.
Nice.
I don't know how I knew that. I don't know why. But anyway.
Intuition,
I guess. Yeah.
All right. So I popped on my little helper for the daily chart here, and we see the white line showing up here. This is an interesting one where we have a good chance that it might see 1064 again, or in that neighborhood. So we'll watch for that. But as we go back in the past, where I was finding that from, so I'm looking at a 1-hour chart now, and these are built for a daily time frame. We go back and we look for ones that haven't been touched. So here we go. 1234 was never touched. So That's a good target that's been unhit. So as you say, yeah, there's definitely algorithms, and this is one that is an interesting one to key in on. So if we're looking for rising price, it very well could pull back when it gets to these unhit targets. I think that's what I'm gonna call them, target practice. Look for targets that haven't been hit.
That's pretty good. I like that.
It's rounding out to be a nice little tool in the kit.
So you got the pro version of TradingView then, because you're getting the real time futures.
I do. I have my TradeAvate account linked through here that I get my data feed through TradeAvate.
Gotcha. Yeah, I like TradingView a lot.
Yeah, it's my go-to one now. Then we got Bitcoin at all-time highs. There you go, 38.8.
Wow.
There's your XLM that you traded. It's thinking about going back and almost hit 45. And XRP is taking a little move again. We'll see what that does. It's up in the 30s right now. It was in the 30s again last week, Christmas Eve.
It was.
We'll just watch and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, US can't trade it pretty much now. I don't know if I made a comment in the trading room at one time, or maybe it was to you, or maybe it was somebody else. I can't remember, but I said, you know what? I bet XLM could overtake XRP, and it has.
Yeah, look at that. It's 1 cent above right now.
I didn't think it was going to be at this level. I
You don't think
really
we got
thought
it
it
right
would be a
there?
lot higher. Yeah. Yeah, I thought maybe XLM would eventually catch up like at $1 if XRP was at $1. Sean, yeah, I think Kraken does Uphold it does as well. But since I'm in New York, they Uphold never released their cryptocurrency platform. I could only do like silver, gold, and a couple of currencies. So I couldn't do anything with Uphold at all with crypto. And Kraken, they don't allow New York State residents either. So yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, you
I'm
said
on
almost.
XRP anyway.
There's the bubble right at 38 just for you, Sham. They're even calling it out. It hit 38. I think that's about what we had covered for today. Let me make sure nothing crazy is happening here.
Sham called the high.
There you go, Sham. Good job. And let me look at the calendar one more time, see if there's any events for tomorrow.
See, one of the things I'm looking for, Sean, is for the ES to hit a 666 number. Just like in March of 2009, the bottom was 666. So the top has to be 666.
There you go. Natural gas is not a good result. They're not liking that. So tomorrow you can watch for unemployment changes too for non-farm. That's a big one to watch along with the unemployment claims. So keep your eye on that tomorrow. We won't be here on the air, but that's one indicator to watch or one announcement to watch because that can affect things.
Absolutely. Boy, I'm really excited about this new VWAP system that you got, the method here. Really, really like it.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll do my best to get everything recorded and out to all of our good friends. Much as I can help you guys, the better I feel. So appreciate it. 6666. Interesting comment.
Jeez, if it goes to 6,666, that would be insane.
Oh, you mean the Dow?
No, I was talking about the ES, actually, what hits it was the S&P 500 cash index, I think. The SPX hit 6666.
Yep, I think you're right at that bottom. Yep.
And I'm waiting for a comment, some sort of comment from somebody that is going to turn the market around. Some comment. I'm not sure what that comment's going to be, but I think somebody's going to say, hey, this is overvalued.
Right. Sooner or later, someone has to.
Yeah.
Or what happens when, so the new machine or whatever the Fed machine's doing right now that they're obviously propping up the market, everyone talks about it. What happens with the new administration when suddenly they say, you guys are doing what? Let's back off on that. Then on suddenly there's no more buyers.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good insight right there. When Biden gets in office first day, I mean, he's going to be focused on the vaccine and the economy.
Yep, exactly, Sean. Wait for January 20th. We're almost through. This is one of the longest potential high volatilities in election years ever.
Yeah.
Normally it's been election day, then it's over and it calms down because it's over and done with. This one's spread out over 3 months. So, as we say, interesting times we live in. So, we can say we traded through it.
Absolutely.
You can tell stories years later to your grandkids.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, guys, have a fantastic day. And this is going to be more exciting times ahead, I'm sure. We'll see you guys on Monday in the trading room.
You got it. Thanks for coming, Sean. See you. You guys have a great weekend.
Take care.